Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 29 of my 31 must-hear bands of the 21st century. We are winding down. Just a couple days left. 31 days in August, 31 bands that I'd recommend you guys check out if you haven't already. Again, these are bands that are going to be in the genres of music that we covered here on the channel. So all different forms of heavy metal, hard rock, classic rock, progressive rock, fusion. That's kind of like the styles we cover. So these bands are going to be representative of those genres. So there's a lot more than the 31. You'll get it the last day. You'll get in a bonus episode that'll have a whole bunch of honorable mentions that didn't quite make my top 31, but I really do like a lot that you guys should check out. And don't worry, I'll post the entire list on that day as well. You're also going to get in that bonus episode of honorable mentions, you're going to get those bands, those new bands comprised of veterans that we know from prior bands and things prior to the 2000s. So today we're going to take a look at another cool band from Dallas, Texas. These guys formed in the early 2000s. Their first album came out in 2006. I kind of call this band, they're kind of like a psychedelic southern blues rock stoner doom band called Wofat. And they got their name from an old episode. It was an old villainous character on an old episode of Hawaii Five-0. That's where they got their name from. They've got 7 albums to their credit. I've got all but the very first album, which I have on order. Sometimes, you realize it, because I know I did a ranking of these guys like a year ago, and I think at the time the first album was out of print. So I just kind of checked before I did this episode, and now you can get the CD. It's available on their Bandcamp page, so I just ordered that one up. I do have the brand new one, which I reviewed here on the channel not long ago. Came out this year. That is still sitting in my car in heavy rotation, so I don't have that to show today, but that's the Singularity. But they released The Gathering Dark in 2006, Psychedelic in 2009. It's the first album I ever heard by them, actually. Noche de Chupacabra, also a very good album. The Black Code. There's the Black Code. Black Code's right on top. There we go, the Black Code. The Conjuring. And Midnight Cometh from 2016. Conjuring 2014, Black Code 2012, Noche de Chupacabra 2011, and then The Singularity came out in this year 2022. There was like a 6-year gap there. Usually they're releasing stuff pretty regularly. They do have a couple of split albums with a couple other bands and a live album. And the guys in the band are Kent Stump, he's the main guy, guitars and vocals, Michael Walter on drums, backing vocals, Matt Watkins on guitar, and Patrick Smith on bass. Former members include Tim Wilson on bass, Michael Walter, who was playing bass originally, now plays drums, and Zach Busby on bass as well. So a very cool band. So like I said, if you can imagine a weird mix of like ZZ Top, Jimi Hendrix, Black Sabbath, Crowbar, and throw some kind of like space rocky psychedelic Hawkwind or something in there as well. That's kind of like what you get. Big, heavy riffs, lots of cool psychedelic atmosphere, loads of jam. And if you love, they don't jam quite as much as, say, Earthless, and they're definitely a little heavier than Earthless. But if you like explosive wah-wah guitar solos combined with big, bluesy, meaty Sabbath meets ZZ Top riffage, that's kind of what you get here. It definitely has a southern feel. It definitely has that kind of psychedelic stoner feel. It definitely is doomy at times. It's definitely bluesy at times. So it's kind of like this weird mix of all that stuff. But, it really works. And tons of groove. I mean, big fat bass riffs and heavy drumming. And then you got these mountainous, bluesy, doomy riffs. And, the explosive guitar solos soaked in wah-wah and effects. And I just kind of love this kind of stuff. As far as, favorite album by them, it's hard to say. They're all really good. A lot of people seem to favor The Black Code based on things that I've read and whatnot. And, yeah, a really good album. The title track is really good. Sleep of the Black Lotus is a terrific, big, epic, long song. So that's really cool. Like I said, the first album I ever got was psychedelic, and I really dig this album a lot. And this is very psychedelic, lots of cool acid, guitar solos and things like that. Check out Analog Man, which is really, really cool. The Slow Blade is another one, which is really good. But all these albums are really, really strong. Noche de Chupacabra is really cool. Check out the epic 15-minute long title track. If you just love kind of big psychedelic heavy freak out songs, that's definitely one to check out. Bayou Juju is really cool, very kind of southern sounding, but definitely heavy. Descent into the Maelstrom, and like I said, the latest album is absolutely terrific. So you really can't go wrong with any of these albums. You gotta like it heavy, you gotta like it bluesy, you have to like loads of scorching psychedelic guitar solos and big huge riffs. That's what this band is all about. They're not going to bowl you over as the most original band on the planet, but it doesn't matter. If you just love really good, heavy music with tons of groove, that's what these guys are all about. That's just a lot of fun. So again, here are your albums, most of them anyway. If you go onto their Bandcamp page, I think you can get most of their stuff on CD or LP or download. So it's very affordable. I think the CDs are like $10, so it's definitely a good deal. So very cool band. Wofat from Dallas, Texas is my pick for day number 29. Just 2 more days to come after this. I got 2 more bands fired up. It was really interesting trying to, because I have a whole bunch of other bands in my honorable mentions. Some of them I feel really bad about not including in the top 31, but it's like, any given date, if I did this list like a month or two from now, there might be a lot of bands that will interchange and whatnot, because I'm looking at my honorable mentions list. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a few more days to put some of those in. But you're going to get them all on the final episode, because I'm going to do all the honorable mentions. And again, I won't mention everything, because I'm sure there are going to be bands that I've forgotten about, because there's been so many good bands that have come out since the start of the 2000s. I think that's the moral of this story, is that, I talk to people all the time who just say, rock is dead. There hasn't been anything good released since like 1990 or 95. And I'm like, you know what? You're wrong. It's like there's a ton of really good bands, a ton of them. And doing this whole series this month has, I always knew that there was lots of good music and lots of good new bands. But it's like when you try to compile a list and then you keep compiling that list and then you realize how many you've forgotten, when it's all said and done, it's really amazing how many there are. So again, there's going to be some that I've forgotten. There's plenty that I haven't even heard, because I look every day at your lists that you've been putting in the comments. And there's quite a few of those bands that I've never heard of before either. So there's many of you who are saying, I've hardly heard of any of these bands, Pete. Well, there's a lot that you guys are recommending that I haven't heard either. So there's just so much. So much. So like I said, if you're really haven't listened to any new music in the last 30 years or 20 years or 30 years, there's a lot of great stuff out there. Just gotta give it some time and give them a few listens, and give it just as much of a chance as you gave some of the bands you love so much 40, 50 years ago. That's kind of what it's all about. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. Check out Wofat if you haven't already, and then once you do, let us know what you think of them in the comments below. If you are a fan, let us know what you think in the comments below, and also your pick for day 29, and tune in tomorrow for number 30, then 31, then the final episode, the honorable mentions, and the veteran bands. The new bands comprised of veterans, that sort of thing. So, what else? Tune into the Proxy tonight. Yeah. Yes, that show tonight. Proxy is tonight. So anyway, thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All together. All the damn time. Like I said, please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. Please also hit the like button. And we have the links below to our merch page as well as our Ko-Fi page for channel donations. So again, we'll see you all tonight on the Proxy and tomorrow morning with another 21st Century band. So I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.